Okay, page 6 of my first sketchbook ever. So, to take away some of the pressure of messing up this page, not that it's messed up already, but see these red marks? Yeah, that's my nail polish scraping on it. So that's fun. Oops, sorry if I just bumped the table. I don't know if I just have cheap nail polish, but sometimes it just acts like a crayon. I could write my name right now just with my, it's not wet, it's all dry, but anyway. Okay, so today we're gonna pencil in some pumpkins. You can start with paint right away, and I've showed videos of that before. But I'm going to show you, oh, let me show you my inspiration. My dish towel. I was sitting there reading this morning, drinking my coffee, and spacing out every now and then. And I looked over in the kitchen, and I'm like, hey, pumpkins. So you can see we've got some pumpkins here, varying colors and sizes and different perspectives. And I was looking at these going, are those pears? They look like pears. I don't think I've ever seen pears and pumpkins paired together. But I'm guessing maybe they're supposed to be gourds. I'm not sure, but you can't tell me they don't look like pears, because they do. All right, I'm just going to point out something real quick. I want to show you, these are just basic ovals. See that? Oval, oval, but you're seeing them from a different perspective. You can see with this one, you're looking at it more from the side, and this one you're seeing more of the top of the pumpkin, kind of looking down on it a little bit more. So we're going to go with that. We're going to work with that and do both of those. And I'm going to show you step by step with pencil how to do it first. Like I said, I do have another video that shows just going in with the paint and just starting with different sections of the pumpkin. But for today, let's start with that orange one from the side. I'm going to do, maybe I'll just do 3 pumpkins, kind of like they're showing on the towel. And I'm going to go ahead and start with that one that we're looking at it from the side. I'm going to start with an oval just to show you, and I'm going to be erasing. So if you don't want to start off this way, that's okay. I just want to show you. I don't even know. Can you see? Maybe I'm just going to pencil it in darker. Maybe just so you can see it. I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing here. And then we're going to kind of find the placement of our stem, because that's really, if I place it here, more closer to the top, it's going to be a side view. If I place it more down here, you're going to see more of the top of the pumpkin. I am bringing my erasers out because we're going to need those. Just use like either a white eraser or a kneaded eraser, whatever you've got. But don't use a pink eraser. It's just going to leave marks. Although, you know what? We've already got red marks on my paper, so not going to be worrying about it too much. All right, this one, like I said, we're going to make the stem a little bit closer to the top, and we'll just make it kind of go a little curvy, wider at the bottom, like that. Okay? And so already I want to just take out that line that's right in where the stem is. And you can, if you're watching this, you can be like, why'd you draw it in at all? Because I just wanted to show you the oval shape, okay? And I'm actually going to erase some of the lines right outside of the stem as well, because I want to give it that curved, it's curving in at the top like pumpkins do. Again, we're not going to be super precise, but I'm just showing you what we're doing here. And I'm going to start, I think the easiest thing to do is I'm going to just kind of draw some lines where the stem kind of comes out like that. And I'm going to start with our middle section, if you will. All right, drawing in like that. And then we're going to draw another one coming from the stem like this. And then one more on this side like that. Okay, it's already looking like a pumpkin, right? Now I'm going to come back in with my eraser because I'm not loving the flatness of the pumpkin. I want to make those nice and bumpy and lumpy too. Okay, so we'll start with our middle one, make it nice and rounded. Come down here, let each section end a little bit higher than the middle one, or than the previous one, I should say. So these are going to be a little bit higher than the middle, and this is going to be a little bit higher than that. And I feel like my middle one's a little too low for how I did the other ones. So let's do this. Okay, and I like it. I just like it. So we're going to start with that one. And then next we will do, I'm going to get my towel back over here. We're going to do like this guy next to it. So we're just going to kind of do, maybe this one's a little more rounded rather than oval. Okay. And we're going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to bring this stem just a little bit lower than that one was. It's not going to be quite as much of a top view as the last one that I'm going to do, but we'll do that. Okay. Just taking out that center line where the stem is and also on the edges. Bring in a little kind of bump there towards the back. And now we'll start with our, or if you want to draw your lines in too, just to kind of wonk it up. And then we'll start with the center section again. Here and here, and then we'll do one on each side of that as well. And you can see this erasing part might seem not redundant, but maybe drawing the line in at the beginning is something you don't need to do. But I'm just showing you the beginning shape of the oval or the circle. All right, bringing this one down. And again, we're going to end a little bit higher than the previous one that we did. All right, there we go. There's that one. And then finally, we are going to draw in this guy. So we're looking a little more down onto the pumpkin. All right, let's make him stand on his own. Let's just do a nice big oval here. All right, and then we're going to start closer to the middle with the stem on this one. Okay, so we're going to do it like this and like that. All right. There we go. Okay, and this one we're gonna go ahead and bring in a little bit more of an exaggerated like lump at the back, because we're also going to add more towards the back because we're seeing more of the top. Okay, so we're going to come through with our middle portion. Go. Looks a little weird, I know. I got the stem a little bit too long in there. There we go. And then let's just draw where the stem is kind of leafing out like that. Okay, hopefully that looks, I don't like what this line is doing. All right, let's just draw him a little bit more. And now we'll come in and erase the bottom. And round it off. Rounding it off a little bit higher than the previous one. All right, yes. Yes, except this part. No. He's going to come around here. Okay, I like it. Now we're going to get to painting. For these two, I am going to keep them orange just like the towel. And I am going to come on in with some water first. I don't have to be super careful because these two are going to be orange, but I am going to just do them separately. So coming in with a little water and then dabbing in some Indian yellow. That looked really bright, but I'm using only that amount of pigment, and I'm going to spread it all around. So we're going to have a very light yellow base color to our pumpkin. Again, I could do both of these at the same time, but I'm just choosing not to. So starting in with that, and while that is still wet, I am going to bring in some of our second color. And I'm going to make it darker up here and a little darker down here. Go. And then in the middle, I'm going to just bring some of that orange down. Oops, I got way too much water. Oh, well, that's okay. We're just gonna brush it out here. Yep. And I changed my mind. I'm doing the whole thing orange. It's okay. We can change our mind mid-painting. And we're going to let that dry. And while that's drying, I'm actually seeing over here, I'm not loving it. So I'm just going to bring this guy down a little bit more. And I'm even going to add a couple more little bumps in the background. I'm going to make it longer. There we go. Can you tell I didn't? Oh my gosh. That's so funny, isn't it? Isn't that cute? Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to start painting him while we have this fiasco happening. Oh gosh, that's fun how that happened. All right, we're just going to work with it. Because guess what? I'm in my sketchbook. It's forever. Oh, good times. All right, let's get some yellow in here. Good times. That's cute, Carrie. Good job. Okay, just kidding. It's okay. I'm not trying to be mean to myself. Oh gosh, you gotta laugh. It's Monday morning at the moment that I'm doing this, so we're just gonna blame it on Monday. How's that? I want this one to be way darker, so I'm gonna start with darker. Not a big deal. We're just winging it, basically. What I do. It's what I do with art. I wing it. I mean, not to say I don't practice, because I do. But this morning, I'm winging it. And I actually think if I have time before work, I need to do one more video today. Because this week just has a lot of things happening. And so I'm just gonna try to get 2 videos done today so I have them done for the week. Okay. That is just too funny. Too funny. And while those are drying, I'm just going to go ahead. Since he's not touching anybody, I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush out and start on the green one. Let's go ahead. It's got a little orange on it. I'm not worried about it. You probably can't even, well, maybe you can see it on camera. I'm not sure. But I'm just wetting the pumpkin so that we can come in with a really nice light green here. I love this green that I mixed together this morning. Makes me happy, kind of a mossy green, I'm going to call it. So let's just start by moving that around the pumpkin as our base coat. It's pretty. It's starting to feel like fall here. Oh my goodness. Some might argue it's feeling like winter, but not me. This is perfect. I love me some chilly weather. We turned the heat on. Well, my husband did. I got home yesterday from a little trip I took with my mom and my sister and my cousin to see my stepsister and her boyfriend, fiance. And yeah, I got home and my husband had the heat on. I do not oppose that. I think it's just fine. Okay, we're going to let all of that dry. And I'm probably going to bring the hair dryer on it. I was going to mop that up again, but I'm just going to leave it because it is totally fine. We're just going to do layers and it's going to work out great. Okay, we're going to come in and just kind of do the tips of this little pumpkin here. A little bit darker. We're going to keep it pretty light throughout. Just want to come in with some added dimension and such. A little on the outer, definitely some towards the bottom where there might be a little shading, shadows. And yeah, I think this one is going to call for some end detail at the end. Do a little here, the edges, not the edges, the ridges, whatever you're going to call them. That and like that. All right. We'll put a little bit of darkness right here too, just for the shadow of that pumpkin. These lines are looking a little too harsh for me, so I'm just going to blend them in. My brush is just damp, maybe has a little color on it, but I'm just going to bring those down a little bit so it doesn't look like a harsh line. And then bring some of these up as well. Okay. For this middle one, I'm going to add a little bit of our umber, the brown, on the bottom, and the top, and the ridges. But we are going to do one more layer, at least on this middle one, because I want him to be noticeably darker than the one on the left. All right. And I just want it to be a nice rusty color. Okay, while that's drying, we're going to come over to this guy and add some darker colors here. I don't know why I'm starting with here. Sometimes I just wing it. I already said that, but it's true. I feel like these are going to be in the shadow back there. You know what? I'm doing the whole thing. I'm doing the whole thing because I don't want it to be that light. I want this green. I really love this green. So I want it to show. I like that pale base coat, but that might be a nice kind of undertone if I were doing a cream colored pumpkin, which I love those too. Or gourds, whatever they are. Is a pumpkin a gourd? I'd have to look that up. All right. Or is a gourd a pumpkin? Okay. Oh, yeah. I like that better for the base. Oh, sorry. I started doing my third layer on this middle one and didn't hit record. Where this is going to be a beautiful, rich color. Rusty. How many people have started decorating for fall? I know you're probably like, girl, we're almost a month in, but it has been so warm here that I haven't been in the mood. And my rule, I usually get mums. We have a great little local place that sells mums, and I love supporting them. And it's called East Post Pumpkins. But anyway, I can't buy mums when it's 80 degrees or even close to 90 like it was the other day. So my rule is if I see in my local TV station's forecast that there's 80s in the next 10 days, I'm not doing it. I just can't. So at the moment, there are no 80s in the forecast, and I'm very happy about that. Ooh, I like that. So I think it's time to go buy mums. But here I am painting, and that's okay because I love painting too. Coming back in with my, what I'm calling a mossy green, and I'm going to add some color here. I know that's looking real stripy. I'm rinsing my brush, not rinsing fully. Let's have a little bit of color on here, and now we're just gonna blend, 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 keeping some of the light green showing through. Breaking up any lines that are too harsh for your liking. You might be wondering right now, why did you tape it off? Well, let me tell you. Adding to the Monday morning feels, I taped it off because when I started this painting, I was thinking, I'm going to paint in just the slightest little background. But I forgot. I just started painting. So I'm going to add the background in a little bit, which admittedly is a little more scary than adding it in the beginning. But that's okay. I mean, look, I've already got nail polish on here. I've kind of messed some things up, and we're just going to go with it. It's a Monday morning, and life is good. God's mercies are new every morning. Did you know that? It's true. This is the day the Lord has made, and we can rejoice and be glad in it, even when we do goofy things like I've been doing here. Okay, now we're going to come in with the stems. I am going to come in. This might sound a little weird. I'm going to do a really washed out version of this green as the base for each of the stems. This one's going to be a little bit darker, because that's what I want. You know, I hope you're amused by my mistakes and not annoyed by them, because they just happen. They happen with everybody. Not everybody shows them, because I don't blame them either. It's more fun to show, hey, my gosh, look what I can do. Look how I can just do things so effortlessly. Well, I don't do things effortlessly. I'm trying here. I'm trying. But sometimes I just kind of goof up. And I know I've mentioned this before, but if you're new here, I'm kind of in a hurry sometimes when I'm doing these, because I have a job. And I got to get to it. My job is a job that is not flexible in the sense of, oh, I'll start in 10 minutes instead of 5 minutes, because I provide captioning live for people who are deaf and hard of hearing. And so the majority of my clients, the majority of my work is for students at the moment, for college and university students who are deaf or hard of hearing. And so they're like in class in a different state than I live in, and they have a device in front of them, whether it's their laptop or their phone or their iPad, and their professor is mic'd, and I'm just going to add a little bit of color down here. Their professor is mic'd, and I receive audio live via usually Zoom. And so as the student is in class this morning or this afternoon or this evening, I will be typing everything that the professor says, so that that student can have equal access to what the professor is saying. And so, as you can see, when I have to work at, let's say, 10 o'clock in the morning, I need to be set up by 9:45, because I just do. All that to say, I'm usually in a hurry. I don't have a lot of flexibility with my job in that sense. It's kind of like, I try to tell people, like, it's kind of like if I were doing live TV, which I used to do live TV too, captioning. But think of like your newscasters that you listen to, or like the national news or your local news, they can't just stop and then, paint something. They have to be on. Anyway, that was a lot of explanation that nobody asked for, but that is what I do, and so I'm in a hurry a lot, and so I kind of forget this and that. All right, I am leaving these like this. I'm going to paint in a background, and we're going to be done. I've decided for my background, I am going to do a very light wash of the green. Oh, and the other reason I taped this off is because I am not enjoying this size of a sketchbook. I don't like the long rectangular situation happening. I like working on squares. And so that's my story. And I need to be careful because I also did not let these dry. Oh my goodness. They're pretty much dry anyway, the stems, but you definitely want to let everything dry before you paint in the background. Again, look, do you see? I'm just kind of, oh my gosh. But this light wash, first of all, it's going to complement the orange nicely. It'll complement this dark green as well. But yeah, the problem is I'm not working fast enough here. I might have to do 2 coats. But yeah, I just forget. I tell you I'm going to do something, then I'm like, and I forget. Let's just go here. But it'll look nice once we pull the tape up too. Although I did rip the tape down here because the tape was too long, so I just quickly ripped off the edge, and it ripped the paper. So I'm kind of nervous about taking this tape up. I don't think I must not have used tape yet in this book. I mean, this is only my 6th page. You'd think I'd remember, but I don't. All right, let's come back up here, blend some of this in so it's not so splotchy. Okay, up here too. Come around here. Now, when these are dry, like when your pumpkins and your stems are dry, you really don't have to worry too much about, hitting them a little bit because it's not going to super duper activate that paint that's already dry. Now, if it was still wet, you're going to have a lot of bleeding. But you know what? I would deal with that too because that's what I do. Make little goof ups and then I deal with it. It really is teaching me to just be like, oh, well, a little bit more than I already am. All right. Yep, I'm liking it. I'm liking that as my background color. Anyway, back to, yeah, the size and the shape of this sketchbook. Not loving it. I like to work in my square paper, and so I'm pretty excited. I bought another sketchbook, and it's a Hanamula. I thought I got 100% cotton, but I ordered the wrong one, probably in a hurry. Anyway, but I think what I've heard from others is that I'm not going to be disappointed with a Hanamula, even if it's not 100% cotton. So we're going to go with it. It's a little square. It's small. I like to work small. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right. Oops. I want a little bit more down here because you know what? I would like that to be a little bit darker underneath. I don't want any white showing through. I think I might even come back in after this background is dry and come in with a little bit darker green to shadow, or I might even do a little bit of a blue for my shadow. We'll see. Let's let that dry and come back. Oh, we'll let this dry and then come back and see what I do. Okay, I've decided for my shadow I'm going to use Payne's Gray. I ended up just doing that light wash on my sample sheet here, and then I put Payne's Gray on top just to make sure I was going to like what that looked like. And that's what we're going to go with for a shadow underneath our pumpkins. You don't need a shadow. You can leave it just as is. I just want to ground them a little bit here. And so that's what I'm going to do. We'll start with this middle one. So much color. So much color. I just dabbed it on my, what do you call it? Paper towel. I'm going to come in, make sure we get under all those little crevices. And just kind of wash it out here. Coming up here. Samesies. All right. Not liking how that's like squared off like that, so we're just going to kind of come over here too. All right. Calling it good, folks. Oh, I just want you to have a little shadow in there too. All right. Gonna let this completely dry and then come back in with our ink detail. I've got my micron number 3, size 3, and we're gonna just outline the whole thing and then add lines as I see fit. Okay, calling it good. Ooh, let's remove that tape. Let's see what happens. All worried, but let's see. See if it rips my paper. Oh, yep, it's ripping the paper all right. That's exciting. I suppose maybe that has to do with the lack of quality of the paper. That is not exciting. It is ripping. Let me see. I'm so scared. I am going to speed this up, but just know I'm going very slowly. Oh gosh, how sad. Okay, I guess I'm not taping in this sketchbook anymore. Yep, it just comes right up. Okay, I'm gonna run the hair dryer on it. That's supposed to help, like, remove some of the adhesive. Washi tape doesn't even have that much adhesive. Let's see if that helps. Let's see what we got here. Nope, still just whatever. Well, there it is. Maybe from a distance it looks okay, but let me just see if you can see how it ripped my paper. Yeah, ripped it all the way around. Womp womp. There's a lot of womp womp with this painting today. But she's in the sketchbook, so she's here to stay. No recycling this one. See if I can sign it. Sometimes I don't even want to sign something, but that's okay. Harry. All right. I really hope that this was entertaining for you today. Suspenseful at the very least, I'm sure. Okay. Maybe try this one if you'd like. And if you have this sketchbook, maybe don't use washi tape. Okay, join me in the next video, which will hopefully be maybe just have a few less mishaps. Here's hoping. Take care. Oh dear me, we can't forget to add the date at the end, right? Ah, there we go. Now she's complete. Okay, what a fun painting with lots of mishaps, and that's okay. We'll see you in the next video.